What's up, guys? So I'm going to try and do this a little bit differently than how I normally shoot videos. I'm using a DSLR this time, so it's going to be it's my first time using a DSLR videotape. I usually do it on a GoPro, so with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and start this video. So what I want to talk about is, if you guys are new to the channel, right behind me there is my Z06. I have it wrapped. It's weird, I'm like looking at the actual screen rather than the lens. But I want to talk about some things you guys should know before getting your car wrapped, things to be aware of, what the benefits are and what the cons are of having a wrap. I really just want to make this video because I think it's really important for anyone who's getting their car wrapped to know some of these facts, just so you make sure that your car in the process is getting the best job it can get, at least for the amount of money you want to pay and for what you expect from the actual shop doing your wrap. So I'm going to go over to my car and I'm going to talk about it, but before I do, I want to say, so I'm just going to kind of give like a quick brief outline of what you should expect and what you want, like what you expect out of your wrap and what you want to have done to the car, and what the shop can really do with the limitations you give them. So that being said, on my car here, I actually didn't have them pull anything off the car. So starting off the bat, that's one thing you need to know is, do you want the car taken apart? Do you want panels taken off? Do you want the wrap to look as best as it can? And to do so, you really do have to take panels off the car. You do have to take all the pieces off. I'm gonna walk over to the car right now and show you guys some things about that in relation to the wrap and why you should expect certain jobs from certain ways that the car is wrapped. So here we go. So if you guys aren't familiar with the channel, this is the car. I'm just going to show it to you real quick. And then I'm going to show you some things about the wrap. So depending on how much you guys plan to spend, that's really how good of quality your wrap job will be. I can't really say how much this wrap job costs because I had it done at a friend's shop, and I had no panels pulled off the car. So to give you a real estimate, this wrap would probably cost around $3,000 to $4,000. My cost was, like I said, not what it would actually cost. So going off that, as you can see, I did the whole car. The roof here, the car was originally black. This is not wrapped. This strip was done separately, so if you guys don't know, this roof does come off. There is the clear bra on the vents, on the windows, and that's actually basically it. I didn't have the front lip clear broad, I didn't have the side skirts clear broad, and I didn't have the fenders clear broad. Now, like I said, I didn't have anything pulled off the car. So right off that, you're gonna expect, obviously the lines on the car won't be as best as they could be without everything getting pulled off. But as you can still see here, for example, you don't see any type of peeling here, so they did a pretty good job without having to pull stuff like the bumper off. So this line here, the wrap is all tucked in. There's nothing showing here, even though this piece wasn't pulled off. Some shops won't do as good of a job with that if they don't pull the piece off, so just be aware of that. And then there are some areas where it's a little more noticeable. You would really have to know that it's a wrap, but if you look in here, you can kind of see that without pulling it off, you can only tuck in the wrap so far. So it's not very noticeable, but you can tell right there. Now, now that you guys kind of see that, there's one thing I really want to mention and I want to talk about if you're getting the car wrapped, just because it's something I feel some people aren't aware of. So to do a wrap and to get this stuff in here, you have to use a razor. You have to use a razor to cut the vinyl, tuck in the wrap and everything. And oftentimes, if you come up here, the wrap is going to come in, it tucks under this vent here. It's really hard to see from this angle, but you have to use a razor right up against the paint of your car. And if you guys watch some videos online, you'll see that doing so will actually, some people get their wrap pulled off and you'll see razor marks in the paint. So this was a brand new car when I had it taken in. So, you know, as far as my expectations go, when I pull off this wrap, there should be no razor marks. And I think that's something you need to make sure is very clear before you go get your car wrapped, and have some sort of warranty or, you know, a liability form for the shop doing the wrap. If the paint job on your car is flawless, it should come off, the wrap should come off and it should be flawless as well. This is a 3M wrap, it is warranted, so when you do pull off the wrap, the paint should be exactly how it is. And then the person doing the wrap was also 3M certified, so that means, you know, them cutting with the razor and everything, that's warranted. So I think that's something very, very important, something you should know from the shop before you get your wrap done, and definitely be aware of that. Now another thing is, like I said, if you're paying a little bit less for the wrap, there's going to be a little bit less work being done, so obviously pieces aren't going to be pulled off and whatnot. So if you look here, I didn't have any of this spoiler pulled off. Now to pull this spoiler off, you actually have to pull off this rear bumper to get into the bolts that bolt on this piece here. The winglets are separate, you could just pull them off with these rear bolts. But if you look right here, you can see a little bit, like I said, the lighting's, but you see a line here. So this is basically what happened is they pulled in the wrap here and then they put in a patch here to do that. And that's because, like I said again, they can't completely pull it up to that because they're not pulling the spoiler off. And to get something like that done, you would need to pull the spoiler off. So like I said, do be aware of that. And going back to the paint and everything, and something that you guys should be aware of is make sure whoever is putting the wrap on, whether you decide to go with like Avery or 3M or, you know, all the different types of wraps that can be done, make sure that it is warranted, like I said again. I think that's a very, very important thing to know. And just something to be aware of. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is if you do decide to have your panels pulled off, make sure that is warranted as well. Because what can happen is, say someone's pulling out a panel like this rear bumper here. So you actually get into the first bolts to pull this thing off here, the rear bumper, by opening up the hood here, the hatch, and then pulling, you know, unscrewing some bolts here, and then you can start undoing clips in the bumper itself. Now, when you get stuff pulled off your car, a lot of stuff on these newer cars is held in by clips. That's to reduce weight. You know, you don't want to add tons of metal screws and bolts and whatnot, so you have clips holding things in place. Now those clips can easily break. Either their harnesses break or the clips themselves break when being pulled off, because they're not meant to be pulled off and put on multiple times. So when you go get your wrap done, make sure that everything on the car is warranted, including clips. So if you brought the car in brand new and the clips were all there, you know, you made sure everything was good, then that should be warranted. So for example, another spot that this could happen is here. You see there's kind of like this mud flap on over this front wheel here. If this was pulled off and then it was put back on and it was loose, then that would be something you'd have to make sure the shop takes care of when you do get the car done. So do make sure they cover that, you know, before you get the car wrapped. Talk to them about that and see what's gonna happen. Another thing that I want to talk about is, so to get a wrap onto the car, you know, to fit perfectly, to mold to the lines and everything, if you guys have never seen the process, basically they put it on and then certain areas will be done with a heat gun. Now when you do areas like this right here with the heat gun, obviously you see there's plastic here and then there's the wrap up here. So if someone's using a heat gun on your car, they could easily cause wear on the plastic here if they're using too much heat. So that's something to be aware of as well, and something you should talk to the shop again about before getting your wrap done. So like I said, those are just some common things I wanted to talk about, some of the cons and some of the risks when you're getting your car wrapped. Definitely be aware of that and keep that in mind. And this video is going a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I'm going to talk about the cons and the pros real quick about having the wrap. So one definite pro about this is the car, no matter how dirty it gets, it actually looks pretty clean. So I don't know if you guys can tell in this video, but the car is like absolutely, like, this is the dirtiest I've actually had the car. So you can definitely tell by the windshield. I don't like to use the wipers when there's a bunch of gunk on here, but there's some stuff here. The roof is pretty dirty, you can tell because it's actually the gloss still. And then as far as the wrap goes, it's pretty dirty as well, but like I said, you can't tell that the car is actually dirty. Another pro, obviously it protects the paint, prevents any type of like wear and tear on the paint. If you can tell on the roof, there's like those light scratches where I'm eventually gonna get like a light detail with a buff. So yeah, those are things to be aware of. Definitely some of the pros to having a wrap. Some of the cons, I would say there's not too many. It's definitely a unique car if you tend to drive more liberally. then it's something that could, you know, a lot of people are going to notice it. If someone reports you or something, then you're definitely, it's not going to be hard to find you. And as far as that goes, that's really the only con I can think of at the moment. One other thing is it does require some maintenance. So this wrap is meant to last approximately 7 to 10 years if I were to take perfect care of it. But obviously, I took the car in a rally. I've driven it quite a bit, and I've taken it on gravel roads and whatnot. So I do have some wear on the front here, and obviously I put this wrap on to protect the car. That was the whole point of it. But as you see, there's small nicks in the wrap itself. There's one there, there's a couple here, some there. Those are all rock chips. And then there is this nick here. Unfortunately, this was someone who backed into me. I made a video about that a long time ago. And I was planning to replace this whole piece, but I went to the shop and they're like, honestly, you just had it put on and you're gonna have it replaced eventually because you do get rock chips in it and whatnot. So just go ahead and get it done when you replace the whole front. But as you can tell here, this is one of the pros right here. The car, someone backed into it and the paint was untouched. They pulled the wrap off, cleaned the adhesive off from underneath, and the paint was untouched. So that was pretty nice, that the wrap was there and protected it. So yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. This video went on a little bit longer, like I said, than I had planned. And I want to say I apologize for not making a video for a while now. I was on vacation for about 2 weeks. And I had planned to make one a little bit earlier, but I'm actually getting over a cold, and this is my first day off since I've been back on vacation, or since I've been back from vacation. If you guys have been following the channel for a while now, I do apologize about that. If you are new to the channel though, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informational, and if you did enjoy it, do make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It's right up there, and unfortunately I'm in a lot of traffic right now, but I can show you the track video, and I'll go ahead and